Hey T-Squad, it's Kirsty. Tonight we're in Bath. A busy nightclub, music, lights, friends. And then a young woman is simply gone. This is the story of Melanie Hall. We'll follow the night, the search, and the clues that still matter. This case is unsolved. We'll stick to publicly released facts. Please don't name unverified private individuals in the comments. Melanie was bright, warm, and grounded. Colleagues and friends describe someone who checked in on others, who kept plans, who felt safe to be around. Think of the kind of person who reminds you to text when you get home. That's Melanie. It's a normal weekend night in the city. The club is crowded, the floor heaving, people weaving between the bar and the dance area. Melanie is inside with friends. In spaces like this, it's easy to lose sight of someone for a few minutes. You turn, you talk, you look back, and they're not where you thought they were. Nothing about that is unusual. Somewhere after midnight, the night changes. No confirmed sighting shows Melanie leaving safely, and no single witness can anchor the moment trouble began. Investigators call this the gap. A public place with cameras and crowds gives way to a private moment with no witnesses. The distance between those 2 points is where the answers live. When Melanie didn't check in, worry rose quickly. Friends retraced routes. Police canvassed the club, taxi ranks, main walking routes, river paths, late-night takeaways. Those first hours are a race against fading memory. Clubs blur timelines. People mix up songs, conversations, and who stood where. Even honest memories can fray at the edges. For loved ones, a case like this suspends time. Life becomes a loop of calls, appeals, and what-ifs. You can't grieve and you can't rest. Every ring of the phone could be relief or nothing at all. That is the quiet part of these stories that the public doesn't see. Much later, remains linked to Melanie were found near a motorway slip road in the countryside. That moment changed the case from missing to suspected homicide. It also reframed the offender. Whoever did this had transport, privacy, and time. They moved a victim away from the city, chose a roadside area, and continued with life without drawing attention. Roadside deposition points to mobility and confidence. It can mean the person felt safe on that route, perhaps because they used it often. It also hints at a window of time when the offender wasn't expected anywhere else. The choice of a slip road suggests speed and familiarity. In, out, gone. Cold cases are not static. Forensics evolve. Trace DNA recovery gets better. Fibers, plastics, adhesives, soil, and pollen can reveal new information long after an item was packaged. Analysts also rebuild nights like this without relying on hard numbers. They look at till logs, old site maps, archived camera angles, taxi patterns, and staff routines. Even a club wristband or a specific flyer stock can help track how people moved. Recontacting witnesses is powerful, not because anyone suddenly remembers a perfect scene, but because context has changed. When an investigator brings a fresh question, a small detail can surface. A hairstyle, a jacket with an unusual texture, a car door that stuck, a driver who smoked perfumed cigarettes. None of these on its own solves a case. Together, they can. First is the stranger who hunts nightlife. Crowds give cover, people leave in clusters. A car can be just outside the line of sight. The second lane is the known contact. Leaving with someone you recognize creates less friction. Trust buys time and privacy. These lanes aren't competing theories. They are frameworks to test against the evidence. Investigators map staff rosters, cab companies on shift, doormen who might recall a brief exchange, and patterns of vehicles that frequent the roads out of the city at night. They compare other cases with similar shapes, a late exit, a fast move to a road corridor, and an offender who appears confident about geography. Sometimes, the link is a behavior more than an object. The way a person approaches, the calm they project, the routes they favor. Cold cases break, technology improves, relationships change, people who once kept quiet decide they can't carry it anymore. A once common car becomes rare, making it easier to spot in old footage. A particular rope, tape, or bag turns out to have been sold in a narrow retail window. Small things age into big clues. It's not true that if a case isn't solved quickly, it can't be solved. It's not true that you must be completely certain before you talk to police. Investigators work with uncertainty every day. If you have a fragment, write it down and share it. Trained teams know how to test fragments. Behind every timeline and map is Melanie, a daughter, a partner, a friend, someone who laughed in bright rooms and made ordinary days better. When we talk about routes and vehicles and the quiet stretch of road where she was found, we hold in mind a person who deserved to grow old, to love, and to be loved. If you were in Bath City Center that weekend, night inside or near the club, waiting for a ride, walking past the river, serving food, driving taxis, or working security and you remember anything that never sat right, contact the police or Crimestoppers. If someone you knew avoided this topic, changed routines suddenly, or made an odd remark about that night, even long after, that detail might help. T-Squad, thanks for listening with care. Share this episode if you can. It keeps Melanie's name in the light and might reach the person who knows the missing piece. I'm Kirsty. This is Dropping the True Crime Tea. Look out for each other on nights out, and I'll see you next time.